Well, thank you for joining me on a little inspirational game plan this week. One thing I was going to say, you probably wonder sometimes, how do my packages get there that fast with FedEx? Look at this. This is Denny Hamlin's FedEx car. On the weekend, we're going about 190 miles an hour at this thing. So when you make sure that when you ship anything, it's going to be with FedEx. Just a quick update on a couple of things. Racing season got off to the last 2 weeks. As you guys probably saw at Daytona, we had a horrible weekend there, really, when you stop and think about it. We had great cars, and which happens sometimes in racing. We wind up with our all three cars wrecked in the 500. And so we tore up some of the best stuff. We led the most laps, and so that was a big discouragement for us. We turn around, go to Los Angeles last week, and I'm sure that most of you saw where Kyle won the truck race. That wasn't in our car, but he turned around and won the nationwide race the next day, which was in our car. Matter of fact, those races were both on the same day. And then in the 500, he finished third. We had Denny finish sixth. And we had Joey in his really, those two outings for him were a big deal because, as you know, an 18-year-old starting off at Home Depot, he wound up 26th. So, and of course, this weekend we're taking off to Vegas, and we'll be racing in Vegas. So the racing season is off and roaring. Believe me, for these guys working in here, can you imagine going 36 weekends, 36 out of 40 weekends, they've gone from Thursday night to Sunday night. So we're off and running racing. The other thing on Game Plan for Life, we're full speed ahead. The book is due out in July. Everything is with Tyndall right now. It's being edited, and we'd appreciate any prayer that anybody there can give for the Game Plan for Life. We're talking about different ways to promote it. And one of the exciting things that just happened today, I want to tell everybody, is we've got today, Casey Beathard. That's Bobby Beathard's son, who Bobby was the general manager when I coached the Washington Redskins. His son, Casey Beathard, was Songwriter of the Year this year in Nashville and Country and Western. He just did a song that's going to be, I think it's absolutely fantastic. We played it this morning, and so we're moving ahead on all different aspects of Game Plan for Life. Please pray for that. The other thing I wanted to kind of share with you just for a minute, as I do sometimes, is things that hit me that kind of deal with my life personally, because I found that many things that we deal with, you know, many things, for instance, that I'm dealing with, you may be dealing with, and vice versa. Well, kind of what happened to us at our Bible study yesterday, we had Walt Wiley, who comes and he just does a great job with our guys. He's been here several times. And basically what Walt did, he came and he talked, did our chapel service at noon. And what he talked about was in Matthew chapter 14. Everybody kind of knows that story. That story is the disciples had gone out into the boat on the Sea of Galilee, and they were out there, and of course a storm had come up. And of course it's one of those things, like most of us in being normal human beings, we do what? We have a tendency to panic. I know I've been in the ocean at times, and just the strength of the waves, and sometimes we'd be down in Bermuda and we got caught in a storm, and seeing the size of some of the swells makes you realize how insignificant you are. So those guys panic. Okay, so they got a tough thing going on. And then of course what we see is during the night, Jesus came walking on the water. And what Walt was basically saying there was kind of interesting. It kind of hit me, because in today's environment, everything that's going on in America, think about it. Our financial situation is dire right now. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, out there right now that are having, obviously, waves of adversity coming against you. It might be in a relationship. It certainly could be in finances today. It could be something to do with your business. It could be something to do with your family. But we're all what? Faced with waves of adversity at different times. So here's all the disciples in the boat. And Walt said, here comes Jesus walking on the water. And basically, what happened was they called out, the disciples did. Peter said, I want to come and walk on the water with you. And you know what Jesus did? Walt said he went just like this. Come on. Come on. He was inviting them to get out of the boat. Now, of course, the point there is this. One guy, that was Peter, got out of the boat, had enough guts to do that. And when he got out of the boat, one of the great miracles in life, there's only two people we know of that have ever walked on water, truly walked on water. It was Jesus and then Peter when he got out of that boat. And it says he actually started walking on the water as he came towards Christ. And he made the point that many times when we're in the storm of adversity, you know, Jesus really looks at us and says, hey, come to me. Come to me during this time of adversity. And the point is this, only one of the disciples got out of the boat. What did the other guys do? They sat in the boat. In other words, they did not have enough courage to step out as Peter did. And if that's the case, if we're sitting on our hands, if we're sitting in the boat, that spoke to me. Because there's been times when I'm looking at adversity and I say, you have a tendency to say, what? I can't get out of this. This is a nightmare. And instead, I need to be turning to Jesus and I need to be focused on the Lord through that mountain of adversity. In my life, when I've done that and when He says, come to me, if I say I need to come to Him in His Word, be studying what He has said, what He has to say to me, be on my knees in prayer, okay, reaching out to Him in prayer and Bible study, if I go to Him and I fall at His feet and I say, Jesus, I'm coming to you. This is too big for me. Okay, but I also know that many times adversity when it's put in your life is for what? It's for our own growth and getting in things that we need to go through. As I look back in my life, the financial disaster I had, I needed to go through that. I was a fool. And basically what God was doing, He loved me, He was disciplining me, He put me through that for a reason. So I just say to anybody out there right now, whatever your mountain of adversity is, whatever your waves are that are coming to you, Jesus basically says in Matthew 14, come to me. Come to me. Are we going to Him? Is that where we feel like our strength is? Are we trying to solve this myself? Or am I afraid? Am I afraid? Am I going to stay in the boat? And so I just kind of share that with you mainly because it just spoke to me. Obviously, we'd love to send you some material, Game Plan for Life. And it's a little Christian Life New Testament here we'd like to send you. If you would like to have that, please come to online, joegibbsonline.com, and we'll send you a little free material, no strings attached. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.